I want to talk about this just atrocious murder of this young woman, Irina Zarutska, 23-year-old, originally from Ukraine, but in the United States. She recently moved here. She's traveling in Charlotte, North Carolina, gets into a light rail. She's sitting in her compartment. And look, in a normal society, she can read a newspaper, read a book, look at her phone. She doesn't have to have, quote, situational awareness. She doesn't have to be watching the exit. She doesn't have to be looking for how she can jump out the window or run to the door. And yet, what happens to her? She is wantonly, unnecessarily, and brutally murdered. A black guy behind her just steps behind her and kills her. And it's on video. Now, the video that's out on social media doesn't really show it. In fact, it sort of downplays it. You don't hear her muffled screams or helpless eyes rolling back. And this guy, as it turns out, is a repeat offender. He commits crimes, he gets arrested, he gets locked up, and then they decide to release him again and again and again, evidently 14 or 15 times. So this is a monster that has been created by the Democrats, by liberalism, by a certain attitude of crime that says, guess what? You know what? We have him in here. Let him back out. Let him do it again. We'll get him back in. We'll get him back out. This should not happen in a normal, civilized society, but it does happen. And when it does happen, the media typically ignores it. Liz Wheeler pulls up number of mentions in the New York Times of George Floyd, 5,897. Trayvon Martin, 1,190. Lots of mentions of Daniel Penny, Kilmar Garcia. Number of mentions of Irina Zarutska, 0. And this is fairly typical. No mention on any of the networks, no mention in most of the media. Now, belatedly, when the media is seeing that this is a big social media story, they cover it. It's like, Republicans pounce on the issue of crime. Republicans are making Irina a cause celeb. So the story is not that there's a story here. The story is that there's no story here, but the Republicans and the right-wingers are making something out of nothing. So what if there was a crime on the light rail? Now, when I say so what, it's very important to realize that the reason this doesn't get coverage, I saw that, Piers Morgan puts out, why isn't the media covering this? Because look, as of, I guess, a day ago or a few hours ago, nothing on New York Times, nothing on CNN, nothing on the Washington Post, nothing in MSNBC, NPR, USA Today, Reuters, Axios, PBS, ABC News, nothing. Now, why not? This is the point that Piers Morgan raises. Why not? And my answer is this. It is because of the racial element of this. If Irina was white, she is white, and she was stabbed by a white guy, it would be covered. You would get news coverage. If Irina was black, or if it was a black victim and a white perpetrator, headlines everywhere. Racial incident. United States is a racist society. Look, this is a symbolism of what it's like to be black in America. And it would be everywhere. In fact, we would know the names of the perpetrator and the victim pretty much the way we know names like Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. But the fact that it's a black thug doing this, a young black male, the standard profile, the stereotype fulfilled, basically choking and murdering a young white woman. That's the taboo. And that's why it's like, let's pretend it never happened. There's no news here to see, guys. Let's look elsewhere. This is the media's shared approach. And you would think, again, in a competitive media, this would never work because obviously it's a big story. And if the New York Times doesn't cover it, the Washington Post will. But these people are all holding hands in a kind of sick ring of racial repression, of racial cover-up, of let's not try to let's not try to emphasize the reality in our society that young black males are very disproportionately likely to do these barbaric things. And also, let's not throw light on the Soros DAs, on the liberal judges, on the system that is tolerant and winks and lets the criminals go. That's all the creation over the past, really, half century of the Democratic Party. But I think that this incident, because of its sheer shock value, its brutality, the moral clarity of it, and also the shameless cover-up that's going on the part of the media, this may well be that kind of transforming incident that finally opens people's eyes to what is really going on.
Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon. Revelation 12:3.
Once again, an armed attack in the Middle East, but this time it's different.
October 7th was the Devil's Holiday.
It's very hard to believe what happened, even though I was there and seeing with my own eyes and seeing them laughing and killing and having fun with it.
Because if you don't open the door, they are going to kill you and they are going to kill me, so please open the door.
So who are the Jews? Who are the Palestinians? And whose land is it really? Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be somehow tied to this place?
The nation of Israel is a resurrected nation. So what if there was going to be a resurrection of another people, an enemy people of Israel? The Bible speaks about this whole war as a dragon representing the enemy attacking a woman representing Israel.
The civilian deaths on both sides represent victories on the part of the dragon.
Hamas did everything within their ability to maximize the civilian casualty.
We came back to a land that was largely barren and empty, and we brought it back to life, and we're going to keep it.
The devil hates the Jewish people because they represent the existence of God.
Because without that Jewish foundation, there is no Christianity.
If we're approaching the end of time, God will reveal himself more and more dramatically.
Speak back through the stones.
The story that they've been telling is that Israel is a colonial project. The problem with that is the city of David. We are an inconvenient truth.
Are you aware of any significant archaeological finding that contradicts the Bible?
No.
God's word stands firm. The dragon will not prevail. Your message here is become a dragon slayer.
Based on Jonathan Cahn's #1 international bestseller, The Dragon's Prophecy.